today. From SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, it's Week 14 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers taking on Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos.
Southern California has a new modern home for NFL football, and it is this place, wondrous SoFi Stadium here in Inglewood. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. Alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a first carry for the former Tar Heel, Javonte Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down. To throw is Bridgewater. And his throw is incomplete. And, Charles, this defense, you might say they're looking forward to a matchup like this. You like to get a team, I would imagine, when they're down, and this is a group that's lost 4 straight.
But their head coach made it very clear in his weekly media availability that everybody's a threat.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. On 4th down, Joseph Charlton on to punt. Last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Herbert. That's complete to the running back, Nyheim Hines. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Come on.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
Herbert on 1st down now. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out.
All the way in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Chargers have taken a first-quarter lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
So they go with a pass, and it works there on the two-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on two-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a two-point conversion.
Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A.
Well, that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now.
They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position.
So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Williams. And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater, incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Colin Saunders able to record his 5th sack of the season.
And here's Joseph Charlton now,
as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. On 1st and 10, Herbert bulldozes past him. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Williams. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35.
3 yards remain for 2nd down.
Herbert back to the air. On the move to him, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd. A shotgun snap for Herbert. They'll roll him out right. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, You got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that, and by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back. Away from attacking all game long.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
The pass underneath. Here's Hines with it.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone.
And boy, Charles, it is no doubt a passing league. We get that, but did you ever think we would see someone pass for 7,000 yards in a season? He just went over that threshold.
Brandon, 7,000 yards means you've had a monster game each and every game of the year. If you throw for 350, that would hurt your average. That means you've made every throw, very few drops by your receivers. You've moved the ball effectively every time out.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal.
Hines.
And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Naeem Hines with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead.
Brandon Staley telling his troops to stay out there and go for 2. And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball.
Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Herbert rolling to his right. Good move at the 30. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard. Here's Herbert. They'll try and set up the screen to Hines. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
These two teams getting a couple of late season tilts this year. Their first meeting was not too long ago, back in week 12. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Again, Herbert. He'll buy some time right. And he whips that one incomplete there.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. And now before this 4th and 2 play comes to fruition, they're going to think about it and call a timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2. They snap it to Herbert. And Allen's got it. Touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, they're stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Now the Chargers will again elect to go for 2. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. So they elect to pass there on the 2-point try. Sometimes could prove risky there. It worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Now on 2nd and 13. Bridgewater. And his throw's going to be incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing. Bridgewater. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And the Chargers are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Herbert going to lead up the Chargers here, 1st and 10. At their own 46. They'll start on the ground with Hines. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. This is Hines. Shifts past him at the 45. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down. It's caught on the right side. Williams. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Here's Hines. And shedding through the tackle. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
On 1st down, Justin Herbert over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
2nd and 4.
Now it's Hines. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Hines. And he fights his way in for a Charger touchdown. Nyheim Hines, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Chargers are able to add on to their first half lead. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense, right?
That's true. You've said that before. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
On 2nd down, Williams. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
1st down, Bridgewater. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Another incompletion there. That's 5 in a row now to start this game. He's got to take a deep breath now, step back, shake it off a little bit, trust his offensive line, and hope that his play caller dials up something that can give him a completion and get him going.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced the ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. More from L.A. in a moment. On 2nd down, it's Williams. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Being chased at, and he's going to lose a yard or 2. Taken down behind the line. Colin Saunders in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play.
More from L.A. in a moment.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit.
So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them through.
Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. So give 2 points to the defense. They were in hot pursuit there, and in the end, they force him out of bounds.
You just wondered how he was going to get out of this one, Brandon. We saw him painting himself into a corner, and finally he has nowhere to go but out the side of the end zone.
With it is Jackson. Well, now how about this return? He's to midfield. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff.
More from L.A. in a moment.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. His throw incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back. In pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together.
Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth.
Yes,
He's miles away and smiling.
All right, partner, get that disapproving look off of your face. He did get it out to the 1-yard line. Yeah, I know. Wasn't the best play in the world. He's hoping his offense can bail him out.
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. From his own end zone, Herbert. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Here's Herbert out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. A big gain that time for the Chargers. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. To the air again, Herbert. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And down to the 28-yard line.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do.
Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Chargers will extend their lead here just before halftime.
The final shot before the break for Herbert. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat.
Now a hit and a loose football. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the 3rd quarter.
Fielded just outside the goal line.
And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. They'll try the left side. It's Hines. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. More from L.A. in a moment.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field.
More from L.A. in a moment.
He's got it to Williams. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They'll try the left side. It's Hines. And a nice spin into some open field. There he goes left side. The 20, 10, 5. And he takes it all the way down to the 3.
115 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I just wonder if before that last play, if someone on the defense stepped in the huddle and said, we've been run over, run around.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
His 2nd rushing touchdown on the campaign and 4th overall. And the Chargers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
They'll try and throw for it. And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it. Can extend this lead out even further.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week.
Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away.
And he goes out of bounds without getting rid of it. A big, big loss there, and it goes down as a sack as well. On 2nd and a long way to go.
Herbert. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
A crazy sequence here. A huge gain that time, but it still leaves them well short for 4th down.
A field goal gets them closer, but they say no thanks. We want the lead.
Going deep here for Allen. A fight for it, and this is caught. It's caught indeed. Apparently they weren't interested in playing the field position game. They opt to keep their offense out there. A big mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, that one backfired, and hindsight's always 20/20, but let's call it what it was. We would have first guessed that one and said, don't do it here. Bad situation. I think they need to be closer to midfield before I would start to think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And once you start taking risks like that, you're going to have to keep taking them throughout the game, especially when they don't work.
Yeah, at this stage of the second half, interesting.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Here's Bridgewater. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it, changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field.
Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10.
At the 34.
More from L.A. in a moment.
That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
On the option, here's Herbert.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 4 yards there on the keeper, but still going to bring up a 3rd down. They run with Hines. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
130 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check. They're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now it's Herbert. This to Hines on the drop-off. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Escaping the pressure, and he's in for a Charger touchdown. Justin Herbert taking it in from 4 yards out. And this Charger offense is running away with this one.
Brandon Staley telling his troops to stay out there and go for 2.
And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games.
Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Well, it was looking like they were going to have the ball in good field position, but now with that fumble, they don't have the football at all.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to imagine what he was thinking there, though, right? I can take this one, break it, go for a big one right here.
And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Chargers get another 3rd-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
That's caught at the 1. And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. It's a squibber picked up around. Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And he takes it back to the house. There's a fumble recovery and a Charger touchdown. So they get the 1-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout. I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
This is our time. Our time.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Bridgewater's throw into the hands of Fan.
And some room to work. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Noah Fant, his 4th touchdown on the year.
And the Broncos are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
Elliott good with a PAT as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
Take it in at the 3.
And a big mistake on the return. He's out of bounds at his own 1-yard line.
All right, partner, get that disapproving look off of your face. He did get it out to the 1-yard line. Yeah, I know. Wasn't the best play in the world. He's hoping his offense can bail him out.
Oh, he shifts past him. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
49 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
So not quite out of danger just yet. Still backed up a bit, but only need a few inches here on second down. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And he'll give it here to his running back.
And that's going to be good for a Chargers first down as he gets it up past the 35.
And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game. Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
The Chargers on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Herbert throwing again. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 15-yard line. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
It doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for...
Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year.
And the Chargers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
And he'll get into the end zone as the two-point conversion is successful. Needed a couple yards for the two-point try. They go to the ground game, and it works.
And sometimes it's the exact right thing to do because a lot of teams play you for the pass, so you spread people out and decide.
Now a hit and a loose football. And this is recovered by the Chargers.
Oftentimes when we talk about piling on in any subject, it's a negative. In this case, for this team, it's a real positive. Just scored. Now they go down, knock the ball free, get it back. They got a chance to really increase their lead and put themselves in the driver's seat.
On the other side, a little insult added to the injury. They're in a bad spot.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I want him out. They tend to leave him in. Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive.
Got a man, it's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. Back to throw here, Herbert.
And the Chargers are on their way to a sensational 13-0 start as they extend their lead here.
And the formula there on the two-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out. Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
2nd and 10.
Bridgewater to throw it. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And now time is called as we've got an injured Charger down there on the field. The Broncos on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Bridgewater now. Steps away. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Bridgewater. Sliding out of the pocket. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater. A 12-yard touchdown run.
And the Broncos get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
Elliott good on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away.
Taking it about the 1.
He's running.
And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. The 40. 20.
That's what I want to say.
Touchdown, Allen. Keenan Allen with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31.
And the Chargers are on their way to a 13th win on the year as they add on to their lead.
Here we go now as they will again try for 2. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. It's a squibber picked up around the 27. And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. A second down throw for Bridgewater. Throw right side, complete to Williams. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
The Broncos send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And a most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild, and at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it, but you know every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater, and his throw here's incomplete. The Broncos on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater.
And that one off the mark. A little late with a throw.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
L.A. readies for its next possession. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
A quick throw, but incomplete.
They're certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the...
And got his man, complete. And he will take this into enemy territory as he's out of bounds on the other side of midfield. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw going into the hands of Williams.
Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. It's a squibber picked up around. Now a hit and a loose football. And picked up by the Chargers. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
As that ball got away from him and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
On 2nd and 10, Herbert letting one go deep for the end zone. And this one is incomplete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. The chance of wasting this great starting field position. A real rush coming, and he's taken down. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. The 4th down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And the Broncos will take over on down.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. On 2nd down, Bridgewater again. And his throw is incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. But after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 24. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower. I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit. But going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. To throw on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Bridgewater. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away.
The LA offense ready for this next possession. And this crowd has certainly liked what they've seen. Their guys fully expected to win this one coming in, and they have not disappointed as they've got the big lead here in the 4th.
They're going to pass here with Herbert. Going deep here for Allen. Oh, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. A big game that time for the Chargers.
In a spot where most offenses would just be trying to get to the finish line and close this game out, they're still looking for points here in the final minute of this game. I think bonuses could be gained and attained with maybe more points.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. To throw again on second down. Herbert. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Chargers, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaughan. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA.